Prepare for IELTS, reading skills and about the IELTS reading test. Introduction. In this lesson you will be introduced to the reading section of the IELTS test, its overall structure and the different kinds of questions you may encounter. Different IELTS reading questions are designed to challenge your reading comprehension level and ability to use different reading skills. We will learn about the 4 different reading skills and in what circumstances they ought to be employed. We will also learn about the 3 categories of IELTS reading question types. In subsequent lessons in the reading course, we will also be looking at a variety of texts taken from previous IELTS tests to answer each of these question types. For more, visit the link in the description. About the IELTS reading test. The IELTS reading test lasts for 60 minutes. There will be 3 texts provided with 40 questions. All questions are worth 1 point. Most will ask you to select from a list of given possible answers. You may also be asked to write the answers in a set number of words, usually between 1 and 3 words maximum. You may, and should annotate your reading text and question page, but you must transfer your final answers on a page looking like the one on the righty. All questions are equal in their score, but not all questions are equal in their level of difficulty. Because you only have a set amount of time, it is important to maximize your score by prioritizing the questions that can be easily answered first. Some questions simply involve retrieving information from the text and copying the words to the answer sheet. Others require some logical deduction to eliminate false answers. Others still require higher thinking skills. When we can recognize which questions call for which kinds of reading skills, we can better manage our time to increase our scores by prioritizing and deciding how and when to solve each of the questions. Reading skills. Different question types are designed to assess the candidate's reading comprehension level by challenging his or her abilities to utilize different kinds of reading skills or strategies. Most broadly speaking, there are 4 main reading skills: scanning and skimming, and intensive and extensive reading. Scanning and skimming. Skimming and scanning are used to quickly look over the text to get a sense of what the text is talking about. Scanning can also be a form of pre-reading which can help readers prepare themselves to more readily comprehend and retain the information from the text in their minds. Scanning, in other words, means reading for gist or essential meaning, or message, of individual paragraphs and/or the text overall. Skimming involves quickly reading the text line by line for the purposes of locating specific information. When we are looking at a menu or a search result on the internet, we are employing scanning and skimming reading skills. Intensive reading. Whereas skimming and scanning reading can help get a general sense of what the text is about, intensive reading is intended to engage our critical thinking. Intensive reading is the kind of reading that aims at accuracy of comprehension. We employ the skill of intensive reading when we are required to 1. Recognize and articulate the main ideas or topics, and to distinguish main ideas from supporting ones. 2. Understand the arguments, opinions, and attitudes of the writer and other individuals referenced in the text. 3. Understand the writer's purposes for writing the text. 4. Analyzing and formulating opinions of our own about the topics and claims given by the text. Extensive reading. The last reading skill we will discuss is extensive reading. Extensive reading is the kind of reading we ought to be doing every day in order to gain background knowledge. The more often we engage with IELTS test materials, e.g., practice tests and other kinds of course books and articles, the better. Extensive reading is what can give us an educated understanding and informed opinions on relevant topics. Task types. A variety of question types are used, 11 officially, according to IELTS.org at the time of this lesson. Pause the video on the next slide. Identifying different task types. Different tasks call for different reading skills. Sentence completion questions, for example, call for scanning and skimming to locate readily identifiable information. On the other hand, true, false, not giving questions and various kinds of matching questions call for scanning, skimming, and closer reading. For this reason, we can group and rank question types by order of difficulty, or time required, to correctly answer each question type. In this lesson we'll look at examples of each of the different task types briefly in 3 categories. 1. Completion questions. 2. Identifying information and multiple choice. 3. Matching questions. Completion questions. These questions ask the candidate to locate information in the text and write the answers exactly as written in the text on the answer sheet. Short answer questions. Sentence completion, note completion, summary completion, table completion, and diagram labeling questions fall into this category. Short answer. Short answer questions will be open-ended questions that can be answered in 1-3 words. See the examples on the right. The instructions will state how many words may be used. Numbers can be used. Hyphenated words are considered a single word. The candidate should write their answers using words or figures from the text on the answer sheet. Sentence completion or note completion. Candidates use a given number of words found from the text to complete the question sentences. Summary completion with words from the text. A summary of a section of the text with missing words is given. Candidates must complete the information using words from the text. Summary completion with list of words. This question type is the same as the previous one except that a list of possible words are given for the candidate to choose from. Table completion. Table completion may require a better understanding of the text, however the principle is the same as all other forms of completion questions. Notice in the example here that certain clues are given to assist the candidate to find what kind of information is required. Pay attention to the table headers at the top and on the left. Diagram labeling. Diagrams offer us a way of visually understanding the contents of the text. Diagram labeling questions can ask you to label the parts of a diagram, a map, or in this case a flowchart. Texts that offer technical explanations of the parts of an object or processes involved in a certain activity will likely include labeling questions. Identifying information and multiple choice. Identifying information, either true, false, or not given, or yes, no, not given. Questions challenge the candidate to use their critical thinking to discern whether or not statements offered by the questions are valid. These kinds of questions offer many false statements and they can be written in ways that challenge the candidate to carefully consider the text at a deeper level of thought. In order to correctly answer these kinds of questions, the candidate should scan and skim in order to locate the information in the text and then read the text closely, sometimes several times, to test whether or not the question statements are valid or invalid. Multiple choice with one answer. Multiple choice questions may include sentence stems as the question with the sentence ending in the answer, or it may be in the form of a conventional question. Sometimes the question will give you clues where to find the information. The first question in the example on the right tells the candidate to look at the first paragraph and then complete the sentence stem using the matching sentence ending. Multiple choice with more than one answer. Multiple choice in IELTS can be more complex by asking candidates to choose two or more correct answers from a list. The question example here gives lists of advantages and disadvantages and asks the candidate to choose the ones mentioned by the writer. Identifying information, true, false or not given. Candidates will be given a number of statements and asked, do the following statements agree with the information in the text? They are then required to write true, false or not given in the boxes on their answer sheets. It is important to understand the difference between false and not given. False means that the passage states the opposite of the statement in question. Not given means that the statement is neither confirmed nor contradicted by the information in the passage. Identifying the writer's views. Yes, no or not given. Candidates will be given a number of statements and asked, do the following statements agree with the views claims of the writer? They are required to write yes, no or not given in the boxes on their answer sheet. It is important to understand the difference between no and not given. No means that the views or claims of the writer explicitly disagree with the statement, i.e. the writer somewhere expresses the view or makes a claim which is opposite to the one given in the question. Not given means that the view or claim is neither confirmed nor contradicted. Matching questions. Matching questions call for a high level of comprehension from the candidate. She will need to be competent in paraphrasing and summarizing skills, taking information in long form and restating it differently and more concisely while retaining the same meaning. Matching questions challenge the candidate to locate information found in many parts of the text, not just individual sentences or paragraphs. Like multiple choice and true, false, not giving questions, there are more statements than questions, meaning certain statements are invalid, thus also challenging the candidate to employ close reading and critical thinking in order to ascertain the correct answer. Matching sentence endings. Candidates are given the first half of a sentence based on the text and asked to choose the best way to complete it from a list of possible options. Matching features. Candidates are required to match a set of statements to a list of options. The options are a group of features from the text. Features include named individuals or groups, locations, historical periods, etc. See the example on the right. Some options may also not be used, whilst others may be used more than once. Pay attention to the instructions. Matching information. IELTS reading passages have named headings, typically labeled by letter e.g., AG or Roman numeral e.g., I7. Matching information questions are given as a list of statements. Candidates are asked to locate where the information contained in these statements can be found in the text, and to match the paragraph label to the question number. Matching headings. Candidates are given a list of headings, usually identified with lowercase Roman numerals I, 2, 3, etc. A heading will refer to the main idea of the paragraph or section of the text. Candidates must match the heading to the correct paragraphs or sections, which are marked alphabetically, and write the appropriate Roman numerals on their answer sheets. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video and would like to see more content like this, please remember to follow this channel. Help us grow to reach more audiences by liking the video and sharing it. If you would like to become a VIP member, or you are interested in having a free consultation, write to us. Or, go to www.practicalenglishwithdarcy.blogspot.com for more.